What we've got here is the lower control arm bushings are squeaking. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace the lower control arm bushings. But first, before you can do that, you have to remove the control arm. So what you got to do first, of course, usually goes without saying. Raise and support the vehicle safely and make sure it's sturdy. And then you have to remove the shock or anything else that's tied to the lower control arm. We're going to have to move the caliper and hub assembly out of the way. You got the hood up. You have to move the shock from up here. There it is right there. Sorry, my finger's getting in the way. I'm trying this with my new LG phone. See how a YouTube video turns out. So anyway, got to remove the shock. Okay, hopefully I can zap this with the air wrench. Sometimes the shaft of the shock will spin and won't let you take the nut off. And on the top of these, they have like a rectangular shape on there. Right there, they got a rectangular shape. They got a special socket for that, which I used to have, but somehow it walked away on me. But in any case, what I do is I'll try and zap it off with the air wrench, if you got one. Air ratchet might do, but it had to be pretty powerful and fast. If not, it's probably going to spin the shaft. It might not. Got to try whatever you can to get it off. If that doesn't work, then you have other options. If you don't have the tool, you can clamp some vice grips on the top tip of this and hold it while you break that loose. And once you break it loose, it should spin off pretty good. I squirted it with some penetrating oil. And see, I'm going to see if I can zap it off right now. Yes, and I got lucky. It zapped right off of there. But you can try it. I would rather try an air ratchet first, or optimal an air wrench. That way it's got a lot of torque and it's fast. It doesn't give, while it's all kind of tight there. Never clamp anything on the shaft itself that goes up and down unless you plan on throwing it away. Like I said, there's a little tip at the top that you can hold with like a pair of vice grips. I actually have a socket for it, but I don't have it right now. So anyway, got that top part of the shock off, and I'll remove the bottom 2 bolts and the shock will come right out. I got the spring compressor tool in there, and the spring compressed. It looks like it's got enough play now. It doesn't look like it's pushed down like it was. It's kind of spooky. I don't trust those things. If you ever seen one blow apart, it's pretty scary. So I usually give everything a squirt of penetrating oil, and they come off fairly easy. I usually cheat on these and hit it with the air wrench. I don't have any impact 5/8. So, and get the castle nut. I usually don't take them off all the way. I leave them on a little bit. And the reason for that is I give them enough room to drop taper and kind of level them out at the top. So that way when I wrap it with the hammer, in case for any reason the hammer happens to miss, or you just miss and you hit that, you won't ruin the threads. In other words, you'll be able to put that joint back together. And the reason you want to wrap it with the hammer is because if you use the old pickle fork, which is, I think I explained this earlier, you can tear the rubber boot. And if it's not torn, you don't want to tear it. Okay, I'm going to try and wrap it with the hammer here. And you can see how this will kind of break loose. You don't hit this down here, you hit this piece of it. I would rather come in right here, but that's kind of a shoddy shot. So I'm going to try and do this and hold the camera at the same time. go anywhere. No, I'm gonna have to use two hands on this. I want to get a good wrap on it. So hold on. Okay, it took 3 good wraps. Let's see if you can see that. 3 good wraps and it's out of there. Okay, this looks like it's going to be my safest shot. Where I'm clear of stuff, I should be able to get a pretty good wrap on it. I'm going to hit that right there. And that other one was on there pretty tight. And that was just the tie rod end. So I've got the castle nut loosened up. You take that off by pulling the cotter key and break it loose. And like I said, I leave it on there just for just a extra, just to keep you, in case the hammer slips off or you miss or whatever you do, you don't damage the threads if you're going to use that ball joint over again. Oops. Same with the upper. I'm going to wrap it right there. So I'm going to hit that with the hammer. Okay, that one took about 5 good wraps, but good hits with the hammer. You see how it broke it loose? So now that that's broke loose, I'm not going to pull the nut off yet. Okay, so now I got the floor jack in there underneath the lower control arm, holding things up. You'll have to remove the brake line. Okay, I used a vacuum line to plug the brake line off so it doesn't keep leaking. Don't forget your drain pan. Alright, there it is. Got the knuckle complete out. Get a different position here. Oh, fuck. I don't even want to grab it. Oh, there we go. I'll take that out in one piece anyway. Because you got to take the brake hose off no matter what you do, so might as well do it like that. So that's out of your way. I'm getting pretty darn close now. Now I'm going to try and get the spring out of there. The spring is compressed. I have the stabilizer bushings attachment. All I got to do now, I hope, we'll see what happens when I lower the jack. Okay, so the jack was lowered. You can see it's not touching it right now. It's lowered. It's still spooky to me though. I don't trust any of those spring compressors. It's a lot of force. That's like a loaded gun right there. Pushing that down. Looks like the spring's ready to go ahead and come out. I gotta get it out of the bottom of that. This is all still real spooky. I'll get back to you if I survive this. Alright. So far so good. There's the spring. It's compressed. It did give me enough room to get it out, so luckily it leaves marks of how it goes back together, or where how it was sitting. Actually, it looks like it's got an indentation where the spring rides. So we get all that back into position, put it back together. Now to take the rest of the control arm off. Looks to me like we've got to take and looks like a big bolt right there, probably a 7/8. Don't quote me on that though, I don't know yet. But that one, and then those two right there, and the arm will drop down with the shaft still in, and of course the shaft will have to come off. All right, that wasn't, well, it was a bear to get this far, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. right, that's what it looks like without the lower control arm. Looks naked under there practically, huh? That put down pretty much to the frame. And there it is. Okay, and there's the lower control arm. So that's how you get the lower control arm off. Remember, don't try this without the proper tools. Don't use pry bars, anything to get that sucker out. It's like a projectile if it comes out of there. Not done right. I've seen one go through a garage door one time. So anyway, there you have it. I'll start the reassembly process as soon as I get those bushings replaced.